You would absolutely love Kuala Lumpur. I had high expectations for the capital of Malaysia, and my stay here has been even better than I anticipated. That is not something that happens very often. I have spent a month in the city. My apartment is in the lively and stylish Bukit Bintang neighborhood, and KLCC, or the Kuala Lumpur City Center, has been my playground. Let me take a few moments to show you some of the highlights of what I've discovered here. If you visit Kuala Lumpur, you will spend most of your time looking up. The city is crammed full of skyscrapers. Walking the streets, it might be difficult to get a sense of what I mean. To appreciate this urban center, it's necessary to get an elevated vantage point. I did that at the KL Tower. Just look at this view you get from the observation level. In every direction, there are structures that seemingly reach the heavens. It is impressive on a grand scale. This is all about extremes. This is the 7th tallest tower in the world. This main observation deck is about 2/3 of the way up. You get a great view of the city and it's 360 degrees. You also see the 2nd tallest building in the world and the tallest twin towers in the world. Few, if any, cities can boast the superlatives that Kuala Lumpur claims in terms of its tall buildings. Seeing it all from up high can be breathtaking. I went for the basic experience here. That gained me access to the main observation deck at a cost of just under $12 US. I took several laps of the circular platform, viewing the surrounding area from 276 meters. The antenna above me soared to 421 meters. An amazing structure on its own, the tower was opened in 1996. Many skyscrapers in Kuala Lumpur are clustered together. One, though, is off by itself. This is Merdeka 118. It is just shy of 680 meters, making it the 2nd tallest building and structure in the world. Officially, the grand opening was held early in 2024, but when I visited in the summer of 2025, it was still closed and under continued construction. Wherever you are in the city, it's common to look up and catch sight of Merdeka 118. The most famous skyscrapers here are the Petronas Twin Towers. They rise to a height of just over 450 meters. From 1996 to 2004, these structures held the title of the world's tallest buildings. They remain the world's tallest twin towers. This is easily the top attraction in the city. That's even with Merdeka 118 being more than 200 meters higher a couple of kilometers away. It could change when that building is finally open, but I get the sense that Petronas Towers will still be more popular. The towers are striking. The steel and glass facade glimmers in the sunshine and sparkles when lit up at night. Their appearance is designed to resemble Islamic art, paying tribute to the fact that Malaysia is majority Muslim. The buildings are predominantly made of reinforced concrete and sit on the world's deepest foundation. This city has an obsession with skyscrapers, and it hasn't been satisfied yet. The owners of the Petronas Towers are in the early planning stages for Tower M. That would top out at 700 meters and once again become the tallest structure in Kuala Lumpur and Malaysia. It's estimated that Tower M won't be completed until 2045 or 2050. Until then, the Petronas Towers will continue to captivate the attention of visitors to the city. That's what happens when there are a couple of connected buildings, each reaching over a quarter of a mile into the sky. This is the view from the front facing Petronas Towers. They are equally as impressive from the backside, as you can see here. The vantage point for these clips is KLCC Park. This green space covers 50 acres. It features a perimeter path made for walking or running that is 1.3 kilometers around. There are a number of water features, including a sizable lake that contains fountains. Several statues make the area more interesting as well. This park is renowned not just for its greenery and amenities, but its location also sets it apart. It is surrounded on all sides by the gleaming city center, including some of the tallest buildings in the world. KLCC Park was created at the same time that the towers were built and opened. All around, there are other titanic skyscrapers. The grass, the trees, the birds, and so many people enjoying the space provide a nice contrast to the metal and glass of the structures which surround it. The stated goal of the park, when it was established, was to leave the world a little more sensitive and a little more educated to the importance of nature. I found a couple of superb ways to see a good portion of the city. The hop-on, hop-off bus in Kuala Lumpur covers two different routes. There's a city loop and a garden loop. In all, there are more than 25 stops. A one-day pass for foreigners is less than $15. The upper deck of the buses are open air and provide a great platform while riding through the city. This was my first time doing a hop-on, hop-off tour. When the price is right, it can be an efficient way to see a lot. The other method of experiencing Kuala Lumpur was even better in my opinion. Every Sunday morning from 7 until 9, some of the streets through the city center become car-free. People are able to walk, run, and bike for several miles. It's a festive atmosphere, and thousands of individuals show up each week. They do one thing here that I really like a lot. They have two different routes, and they alternate from Sunday to Sunday. Today, it's 5 kilometers. Next week, it will be 7 kilometers through a different part of the city. I walked both routes on back-to-back Sundays. Driving or riding through the streets, you miss so much. Being able to travel on foot or in the saddle of a bike, it's possible to absorb a lot more. I found that with each new block I covered and every different angle of the skyline I saw, my affection for KL grew. This is the second major city in a row where I have encountered car-free day on the city streets every Sunday morning. It is sensational, and you can bet that everywhere I visit from now on, I will be looking for this same kind of thing. My first experience was in Jakarta, Indonesia, and I was hooked. I've already checked on my next destination. Cebu City's IT Park in the Philippines goes car-free every Sunday from 5 until 10. You'll know where to find me. The portion of the city where I stayed had a helpful feature. This is the Bukit Bintang elevated walkway. It gives a way to move between the convention center, which is near KLCC Park, and the Pavilion Mall, which was near my apartment. The total distance of the walkway is a little bit more than a kilometer, and I have used it almost every day. It is right in between my apartment and KLCC Park, so on my walk every morning, I go out and back on the walkway. Just to clarify, the total length of the walkway is over 1.1 kilometers. Point to point, however, the distance is a little less than that. The walkway is climate controlled and gets pedestrians off of the streets, which can sometimes be difficult to navigate. The entrance on this end is right through the heart of the mall. The mall doesn't open until 10 o'clock in the morning, but this has never been closed. I don't know if it's 24 hours, but I've never seen it when it hasn't been open. I later learned that the walkway is not open all the time. Some sources say the hours are 6 until 11, others say 7 until 11. I was never out there early enough to see for myself which was accurate. Since I mentioned it there, I'll talk for a moment about the Pavilion Mall. It is a multi-level shopping complex in Bukit Bintang with a plethora of high-end restaurants, cafes, and shops. Some of the brightest names in retail have a presence in the center. This is a fitting marketplace for Kuala Lumpur, with stores as dazzling as the city skyline. This place is massive. There are over 700 stores and over 1.6 million square feet of retail space. It is not the only shopping center in Kuala Lumpur either. There are numerous other malls and shopping complexes through the city that are on a similar level as Pavilion. There's another place for shopping in KLCC that isn't nearly as glitzy, but it is great fun. This is the Crafts Complex. It's a site where traditional Malaysian goods can be seen and purchased. More than a dozen shops are in operation here. Some sell goods that others produce, but there are also some where the artists and craftspeople present their own items. At times, you can find them working to create. It was also a treat to walk through the museum that is on site. I was amazed at how many different products have been designed and perfected by Malaysian people through the ages. Not only were examples on display, but in many instances, you learned about those who led the way in that particular genre. This complex is so cool. The museum was fantastic. I did get to see a few people working, but that was a bit of a disappointment that more people weren't hands-on. This place, though, is right in the middle of the city. It is a little oasis surrounded by skyscrapers. Attractive garden areas and Malay architecture complete the environment at the Crafts Complex. This place was established in the 1980s. I am convinced that every exceptional city has a strong street art scene. That is certainly the case in Kuala Lumpur. Sometimes I set out to find murals and walls that combine beauty and meaning. I didn't have to do that here. For instance, these scenes filled a neighborhood not far from the city center. I happened upon them after I stopped to have lunch one day. I love the look and the vibe of these pieces. They reminded me of the marvelous street art in Penang that I had seen just a week earlier. This is in the Kwai Ton Chiong district of Chinatown, where buildings are in many cases over 100 years old. I'm sure that if a person sought out this sort of thing, they would find much more than I did, and I discovered quite a bit. Chinatown in Kuala Lumpur is a bustling and fascinating part of the city. It starts at the Petaling Street Gate and goes on from there. There are so many shops and markets and restaurants. In my upcoming video about the food of Malaysia, I will spend a lot of time in Chinatown, checking out the Central Market and much more. Figures vary greatly, but anywhere from 35 to 43% of the city's population claim Chinese heritage. One of the most popular attractions in KL is about 13 kilometers north of the city center. This is Batu Caves, and what an astonishing sight to have so close to a major urban core. It combines nature and history and religion and members of the animal kingdom all in one package. From the first glimpse of this place, you know this is unlike any other you've ever been to. At the entrance is this mammoth statue of Lord Murugan, a Hindu god of war and victory. The deity is honored in so many places, but at 42 meters, this is the largest statue of him in the world. After the impact of that, visitors ascend steps toward the entrance to the primary cave at this location. The stairway has been painted different colors, and that makes for an intriguing pathway to the destination. There are 272 steps from the bottom to the top, but they're multicolored. Everyone knows that steps made of different colors are much easier to climb than those which are monochromatic. 272 steps are really not too many to climb, but each of these have a significant rise, making them more of a challenge than the number would indicate. Fortunately, there are landings every 20 steps or so. Going slowly, the ascent is manageable for just about anyone. The payoff is remarkable. This main cavern is gargantuan. The ceiling is 100 meters high, or well over 300 feet. It came about because of the natural erosion of a limestone hill. There are openings in the top, allowing for sunlight to pour in. It's almost as if this was ordained to be a religious site. Scientists say that this cave is about 400 million years old. On that time scale, everything else that you see here is brand new. This place wasn't discovered until late in the 19th century. Just to clarify, there's no doubt that local people knew about these caves for generations. The outside world learned of them only recently. There are all sorts of Hindu elements inside the natural space. This main opening is known as Temple Cave or Cathedral Cave. It contains religious figures and shrines. Most guests are simply struck by the combination of natural and man-made splendor. To some, though, this is still a holy place. If you come here, you will see monkeys, long-tailed macaques to be precise. There is a population of over 100 of them living here. They inhabit the rock walls inside the caves, and they are a constant presence on those steps as people come and go.
The steps up and back are sort of like running a gauntlet. The monkeys aren't going to bother you unless you have food. If you have a drink, if you have a bag of chips, consider it gone.
If they come for a snack, it's best just to let it go. I witnessed some of the macaques expressing aggressive tendencies, and that is nothing to mess with. Batu Caves can be accessed via public transportation, a rideshare or taxi, or by taking a tour. There is no cost for the main cavern, although there is a small charge for some of the other caves. This part of the city has seen tremendous transformation. It is now called the River of Life. Two rivers, the Klang and the Gombak, converge here. The landscape can be magical at times, such as when the artificial mist covers the waterway and drifts with the breeze. This was a place that was once dirty and neglected. Now it is a showcase.
The project began in 2012 and took 7 years to complete at a cost of $1 billion. About 10 kilometers of riverbank through the city was transformed. There's still more trash in the water than I'd like to see. Hopefully there are plans to address that as well.
I didn't even get to see this at its best. The blue pool and fountain was drained for what looked to be maintenance. I planned to go to the National Mosque, but when I saw this Islamic site, as I visited the River of Life, I changed my mind. This is Jamek Mosque. It is one of the oldest Muslim religious centers in Kuala Lumpur. Construction was finished here in 1909. There are several architectural styles incorporated into the design, and it makes this unique and attractive. It consists of covered courtyards and a small prayer hall. This can handle around 1,000 worshipers. Another major historic venue is nearby. This is Merdeka Square, or Independence Square. As you can see, it is a popular location for people looking to enjoy some open space. Each year, the city's Independence Day celebration is centered here.
This is not just some random site chosen as a place to celebrate independence. This is where the Union Jack was lowered and the Malaysian flag was raised for the first time ever. That was August 31st, 1957.
A 95-meter flagpole skies over the square. It is new and not the one where the changing of the flags occurred in 1957. I showed you KLCC Park earlier. To the north of the city center, there's another quality green space, or maybe I should say green and blue space. This is Titiwangsa Lake Park. It contains mixed-use trails and a number of other features and activities that can enhance the public's enjoyment.
Initially, I thought the park was just that area around the lake, but it's much larger than that. In fact, it's 230 acres, and it includes a lot of features, such as this canopy walk, which is a lot of fun.
This park was established in 1980. Sometimes I find high-profile art galleries to be stuffy. That wasn't the situation, though. With the National Art Gallery in Kuala Lumpur, there are classical paintings that you always find in such art houses, sure. I found plenty of more contemporary and fun pieces too, however. It was enough to make me stay way longer than usual, an hour or more actually. This is on the northern edge of the city center, and admission is free. I was fortunate to stay just a couple hundred meters from one of the most appealing sites in the city. This is Jalon Allure. It's the most happening street food scene in all of Kuala Lumpur. In the late afternoon and into the evening, stalls pop up on the sides of the street, and it seems like everyone who is hungry for miles around comes to satisfy their taste buds. Obviously, there's plenty of Malaysian food, but also dishes associated with other countries. You can get snacks or full meals, savory bites, or sweet delicacies. This is the city's dining room.
You read about this market online, and one of the things that people say over and over is it is one of the busiest and one of the best markets they have ever seen anywhere. I can't argue with that. The thing is, the later it gets in the evening, the better and the busier it becomes.
The difficulty here is deciding what to try. It was a struggle for me that never got easy. For a month, I stayed here. It was a comfortable apartment that I liked very much. One of the best parts was the view from the balcony. It was Buka Bintang and KLCC beyond. It's a city full of possibilities, and everyone can choose their own way to find enjoyment in what it holds.
Isn't that incredible? My assessment is that Kuala Lumpur is in the very top tier of Southeast Asia cities. It probably doesn't rank as number one, but Singapore better look out. KL is on the move. I still have more to come from Malaysia and Kuala Lumpur. In one of the next few videos, I'll talk about all of the wonderful food that I've eaten, and that will feature many traditional dishes. There's always something new on Old, Alone, and Far From Home. I will see you soon.